Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I want to welcome you to another episode of the Zoom In on the Halal Metropolis project, where we're interviewing leaders from the Muslim community in Detroit to find out how they're coping and all the things they're doing to contribute right now in this moment with the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm Sally Howell. I'm the director of the Center for Arab American Studies at University of Michigan Dearborn, and I'm here today with Sameerah Sadiqq, who has a really exciting story to share with us. So before we get to her story, just how are you doing, Sameerah? How are you and your family doing?
Everyone is holding up considering this pandemic and considering the social distancing. I think bigger than the virus and bigger than the deaths, I think the social distancing aspect has been and will continue to be the hardest part for our family, and I'm sure for a lot of other people who are social by nature. So that's the hardest part. But the isolation, just kind of having to be in the house, it's been a roller coaster of a ride, because my husband and I have 4 children that are at home and a grandchild. So it's been exciting to say the least.
Well, I'm home alone with my husband, so all I can say is mashallah, because
Right?
the thought of being there with other people would be so exciting. It would be fun. But I'm sure, especially, I'm assuming your grandchild is very young, and
Yeah.
for any parent or grandparent who's home with a small child, it's just such a challenge. And if you're still working, I hear from my colleagues every day. I have real admiration for what they're able to do and for what you're able to do in this time. Well,
Thank you.
so we're here to talk about a special event that's being planned at the Muslim Center for this Saturday. I'm assuming Eid is on Saturday. Maybe it's on Sunday.
The event is going to be on the 24th. I think that's Sunday.
Okay, Sunday.
Sunday? Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not looking at a calendar, so
Me either.
so you're telling me. But so it's for the 24th, and it is called the Eid Cruise. So tell us what the Eid Cruise is.
So let me tell you where it derived from. My husband and I were taking a walk and up Woodward, and he was recalling some events that we used to do for the Eid, and it dawned on both of us, probably simultaneously, that, man, you remember the dream cruise? Well, we can do an Eid cruise. And so that's kind of where it stemmed from, and wanting to still be festive in the with regards to having social distancing. It was like, okay, we could do this in our car. We can decorate our cars, and it can be something fun and exciting for the children.
Well, so I am on a committee of people that are organizing something in Dearborn called the Ramadan Lights Contest. I don't know if you've heard
Yeah,
of it.
now that I've heard of.
It's just in Dearborn this year, but maybe next year, inshallah, it'll be a broader thing. We had to start small. But and when we were talking about all the things we could do, one of the things that we wanted to do was like, okay, on the Eid, we have to have like a thing where people do like a parade and they drive by all the houses that win. And
Yeah.
when we started talking about it, it was like, there's no way, because these are like side streets.
Gotcha.
You're going to go down Woodward Avenue, right? So that's appropriate for a big caravan of cars. But you do this in the side streets, and suddenly the whole city will just freeze up.
Yeah.
So anyway, so when we heard this, we all just were like, oh, somebody else had the idea, but a better version of it. It's so good. And the idea that you're just copying the Dream Cruise, that is
Essentially.
It's so Detroit. It's just very, very, very Detroit.
Yeah.
And so also I know, because I have, it's been a while since I've been at the Muslim Center on an Eid, but years ago I was there on an Eid. And my colleague and the photographer for our project, Razi Jaffrey, has been going there the last couple of years and photographing the way people dress up. I mean, people don't hold anything back on the Eid.
Right.
Go all the way, right? So I'm expecting these cars to be, I don't know how people are going to do their cars, but
they better be fantastic.
They better be fantastic. And I mean, really, people have to check out his portraits. They're in the Halal Metropolis project. You can go look at our project online and check out the costumes. But it's like people really dress up, and they dress up in, some of the costumes are very Afrocentric, or some of them are like very American. They're just in these
It's an array of designs.
It's an array of really gorgeous designs, and families, people all match, and it's just so So I can't wait to see what the cars look like. But to me, this is like, it's like a really happy, extension of what you're already doing in this moment of crisis.
Yeah, I agree. I think that that's kind of the target, like that's the goal. And then you do what you can with what you can, right? So normally we would get together and do fun things, and that isn't possible this year. I mean, we can't even do fireworks, right? So we have to just kind of be creative and try to reinvent the fun and the festivity and the festive spirit of this Eid. And considering too that we only have two holidays in the 12-month period, it's like we gotta do something. We have to do something big.
Well, I think it's super, so I've also talked to all these other people, and they're like, they hadn't heard about this yet, and so I think that you're going to find that more people attend than your own congregation. Like this is gonna, I know that the
Yeah.
Michigan Muslim Community Council has been pushing this, and so
Wow.
I'm hoping that we're gonna, I don't know if you've talked to the police about helping you with the traffic issue, but
Yeah. So let me say this too, that this is literally one weekend of thought. Like that's it. And so my husband and I were kind of trying to hash out some things. Like let's bring it to Dream of Detroit, and maybe they have a bigger platform they can push it for us. So then once there was a committee established maybe 3 days ago, and now we're just like trying to iron out all of these logistics and particulars. But so luckily for us, we do have a few officers on board who will assist us in our route. But that's pretty much it. And we confirmed that it wasn't necessary for permits or anything like that. So hopefully it will go smooth. And like I said, this is just literally not even 8 days into the making. So if it gets larger than we anticipated, I feel like that's going to be a blessing, because that means that more people are thirsty and desiring some type of activity, some type of creative activity for the Eid. Because otherwise, what are we doing? Like, I don't know.
I mean, you're right. So, I mean, just for people who are listening who don't know what happens on the Eid here, I mean, some communities like in Hamtramck, they have like a giant prayer where everybody gathers in a field and they all pray
Right.
together, men and women and children. And in other communities, it's like they go to their mosque and they have like 3 and 4 prayers, one after the other, because so many people come. And then they
Yeah.
go to like, well-known places like IHOP for breakfast or whatever.
Yep.
People are so excited they're not fasting anymore, and so there's just so much the like tradition built into this holiday,
And now
and,
it's gone.
and it's a happy time. And a lot of people like they buy new clothes for the holidays, and so this year, can
Yeah.
you buy new clothes because are the stores open? It's like, or could if you are going to sew it yourself, can you get access to the resources you need?
Yeah.
It's just like one thing after another, it triggers. But I will say that so many of the mosques are planning something that is car based, right? So it's like people are going to give away, treats and toys to kids and stuff like
Right.
that. So that is something that other people are planning as well. So I think that plan, it sort of builds where
Yeah.
if everybody's going to be doing something
It's
in their own car,
replicated.
yeah,
Yeah.
you go to your mosque and you get your treats, and then you go here and you go downtown and you be a part of this big celebration. And I
Right.
mean, to us, I mean, the point of the project I'm working on is to really celebrate all the ways in which Muslims are just they are a historic a part of the city of Detroit. I mean, the first mosque opened in Highland Park in 1921. So Muslims have been
Wow.
part of the legacy. They've been right there and Henry Ford is buried like 2 doors down from from what used to be the Islamic Center of America on Joy Road. That's where Henry
Right.
Ford is buried. So, the relationship between the Ford Motor Company and the Muslim community is like this, going way back. And, but Muslims are just, they have always contributed and been such a big part of the fabric of the city and the diversity of the city and the culture of the city and all the challenges that people have faced. Like right now, they're facing challenges with
Right.
being on the front line of the pandemic. So the idea that Muslims are going to create this new way of celebrating their holiday and doing it in this really public way and in a way that is just so Detroit. It involves cars, it involves Woodward Avenue. I mean,
Right.
my hat is
That
off.
is so Detroit.
It is just so Detroit. So you just have all the props I can give you, and I wish you a Ramadan Mubarak.
Thank you.
And I mean, I'm like on total quarantine because I have some health issues, but I have a feeling that I'm going to be heading there My only thing is how am I going to decorate my car? I'm so boring, but maybe I'll find a way to decorate my car.
Well, even if you don't, I'm pretty sure someone's going live. Someone's going to be on Facebook Live or IG Live or something live. You can definitely see it. One of the things that I didn't, this kind of dawned on us as of late, is the challenge of people who do not have vehicles and how we can still bring that energy to them. And kind of piggybacking off of what you just said about people living on residential streets and these side streets. So Zarina Elamine and myself had created kind of like a side coalition, or like a campaign, if you will, to visit those who, in a smaller group, obviously, in a smaller caravan, to visit those who can't get out enjoying the procession. Because honestly, even though we're like scrambling to try to find some activities to do and to be festive, the reality is that even that in itself is still something that's very privileged. Everyone doesn't have cars. Everyone, and if they do have cars, maybe they don't have license, or maybe they don't have tags or insurance, or I don't know. So we were just kind of like, man, you got to really count your blessings, because even with something as small as this, everyone is still not privy to. So
what a gorgeous spirit. What a gorgeous way to go about structuring this. I mean, that is awesome. You're being so inclusive. I think that's super.
It's necessary, because it could be us, it could be any of us at any given time. So it's kind of it's meritorious, but necessary.
Well, I wouldn't expect anything less of you or of Sameerah. So that's just awesome. All right. Well, so inshallah, I'll get to see you on the 24th, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, we don't know.
I know, right?
We'll get there, and we'll have, even if I don't have my heart decorated, I do have a horn.
Great.
Great.
Well, you continue to be safe, though.
You too. You take care, and take care of that grandbaby.
Yes,
ma'am. And again, Ramadan Mubarak.
Thank you so much, and Ramadan Kareem.